How are things going with you at the moment? Got plenty going
Uh,
on.
I got plenty going on, that's for sure. Yeah. But no rest for the wicked, as they say, right? Yeah, well, looking forward to these Neil Young shows, that's for sure.
Where do we find you at the moment? Where are you at?
Oh, I'm up on the Blackall Range in the Sunshine Coast.
Ooh.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So Melissa and I, my wife, we've got a beautiful home up here on the range, and it's an incredible view over the hinterland right out to the ocean. So it's a nice little, oasis of tranquility, in an otherwise quite busy life.
Yeah, how long have you been based over here in Australia for now?
I've been a permanent resident since 2008.
Nice.
So yeah, I've lived in Byron Bay, lived in Fremantle in WA, and now the Sunshine Coast.
So, how have you found your way into this sort of stuff with Neil Young? Of course, like you've had so many musical inspirations in the form of the bands that you've played in yourself, with like your original songwriting and everything else in between. But how have you found yourself onto the Neil Young train? Is it something that's always been burning in the background that you've wanted to get your hands on?
Well, so the same promoter, his name is Fraser. He's the head of the promotional company Metropolis.
Hmm.
Now, this is about a decade ago. I was involved in a sort of a similar situation. I was asked to be a part of an ensemble performing the songs of REM. Um, and now, REM, for me, as much as I respect the band, it wasn't really my forte, but I was really interested to see how it would all kind of come about. And I was so enamored with the process and the level of talent that was surrounding me on that show or those shows.
Hmm.
So it was the last show, and the leader of this incredible backing band that will be the same backing band for the Neil Young shows. His name is Paul McDonald, fantastic Australian musician. Him and I were sitting backstage the last show after it was all said and done, enjoying a glass of wine. And someone asked us if we were to do it all again, who would you do? And in absolute synchronicity, we both responded at the same time, and we said Neil Young. And so, lo and behold, many years later, here we are, and it's a dream come true. And and the musicians that I get to share the stage with Shane Nicholson and Richie, from Tumbleweed. I mean, it's just going to be an incredible night.
Yeah. Wow.
And you've recently done a David Bowie gig over at Margaret River as well. How did that go?
It was over the top, man. Yes, grown men crying. It was great.
That's my an idea of a good night as well, funnily
Yeah.
enough. No, so you've obviously, when you said Neil Young, you said it in unison back in the time. You've obviously got a bit of an affinity with Neil Young, and have you, during this process, discovered some Neil Young you weren't really aware of? Maybe some B-sides, some closet deep cuts, or is there some stuff that you really thought, actually, there's a lot more nuance in this than I first realized? Have you discovered a little bit more about Neil Young in this whole process?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the way that Neil would, like, especially in some of the rock stuff, like the chord structures and whatnot, and the way he would play guitar chords. I mean, it's totally Neil. But the thing is that I have to stress the point that this is not a tribute. Like I appreciate the tribute bands, that go on stage trying to look the part, sound exactly like the part, and all that, right? And there's a time and place for that. But this is not one of those situations. This is like, three singers coming up on stage and interpreting, the essence of Neil Young's songs, right? So for the songs that I chose, which I'm not going to let out of the bag, but the songs that I chose, Neil Young is such a part of the Canadian psyche, especially when I was growing up. My family had a cottage in the like the Lake District of Northern Ontario. It's called the Muskokas, and all these beautiful lakes and cottages everywhere. And like if you were sitting around a bonfire at night, Neil Young was playing in the background, or it was playing across the lake, or like it's just so embedded in our psyche as Canadians. And So for me, I had to, when I was given the opportunity to choose the songs that I wanted to perform, well, I chose songs that are attached to them are some just beautiful memories of my childhood, my teenage years, and even my adult years. So, but the way that I'm approaching the songs, uh, like as a guitar player, I'm known for using a lot of different alternate tunings to get all the Middle Eastern and the Indian thing going with the Tea Party and all that. And I'm actually using a lot of those tunings on Neil Young songs, just to give it my own stamp. You know.
Yeah, now you mentioned three vocalists in this sort of amalgamation of amazing musicians as well. Are you guys going to all share the vocal duties across the range of songs?
Well, we've yet to rehearse, so rehearsals are coming up in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic works out. I mean, I've never met Shane yet. I'm a fan. I mean, he's an incredible talent. And Richie and I, well, probably in the '90s, our paths would have crossed, but then again, it was the '90s, so it's a bit hazy, you know.
Yeah, very true. Because
But yeah.
yeah, I'm just wondering, like when you did the REM stuff, like were you responsible for doing some of the Stipe vocal stuff on there, the very specific sounding Michael Stipe REM tones?
Well, I mean, Michael Stipe is a much higher voice than myself,
Mm.
right? Same with Neil Young. So it's going to be different. I'm a baritone by nature. So, and I don't try to copy people, it's just, I'm just putting my own stamp on things. And, but so far, like I've been rehearsing in my studio and, trying out different guitars for different songs and changing the key, so it suits my voice and things like that. And rehearsals are going really well. Like I'm pretty excited about getting together with the band and the other two singers and seeing what we can come up with.
Yeah, I do feel like that's going to probably be the real selling point for a show like this, in the sense that like you're going to get the real musical mix of course, the music of Neil Young, but the talent of yourself, the previous work of yourself, and of course the other band members as well. So it's going to form this like real rich musical soup just with the songs of Neil Young, but just performed in a completely different way that you're not going to get any other time or anywhere else. So definitely something for people to really look out for.
Yeah, correct, man. Like it's very exciting. And I mean, as you probably know, or maybe not, but like tickets are going like mad.
Oh yeah.
So it's just it's very exciting.
And if you do want to get your tickets, they're available through Metropolis Touring, as you said as well. The first show, 22nd of August in Brizzy at the Triffid, then Sydney, Adelaide, finishing things up at 170 Russell in Melbourne on the 12th of September. And then I know you're going back to Canada at the end of the year, a tour with the Tea Party and Finger 11. That should be fun as well.
Yeah, and also a band called the Headstones. So yeah, like just the demand was so great that we're going into arenas, doing arena rock. So it's been a while since I've done that, but I mean, it's the Tea Party, so I'm not worried.
Mm. Yeah, the demand for rock in that sense has never been higher. I kind of wanted to ask you another random question from the Tea Party days, because I remember being on a train reading a newspaper, and for whatever reason there was a story about the Tea Party, and it was a weird time in American politics. And the headline that I read was that apparently you guys were offered some like obscene amount of money for your website domain name for the Tea Party because the political party wanted it or something. Was that true?
Yeah, it was true, and we turned them down.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like that Tea Party movement was the forebearer of this MAGA movement now, in America, and you could see the trouble coming, and there was no way, shape, or form that we were going to, be part and parcel of allowing something like that to have a foothold, yeah, as small as it is.
Yeah, interesting. I just never knew whether it was just like some bait headline that someone put together and they went, well, no one's ever going to call us out on this, so we'll just say whatever the hell we want and we'll get some views.
No, it's absolutely true. Would I lie to you?
Now, of course, Neil Young still bringing out music, like even this year with the Chrome Hearts. If you had to pick a particular era of Neil Young, who's been doing it for such a long time now, is there, a particular brand of Neil Young that you really want to jump on and get across in this From Harvest to Harvest Moon show?
So hard. That's the most difficult question because there's signposts throughout his career that you want to attach yourself to, and it's so diverse. I'm a big fan of obviously his acoustic music and what he did with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And his early rock stuff with Crazy Horse, it's undeniable. So that might give you a hint of where I'm going.
It certainly would. Jeff, mate, thanks so much for joining the show. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And of course, Neil Young from Harvest to Harvest Moon. As you said, it's going to be yourself, Shane Nicholson, and Richie as well. It is going to be Richie Lewis from Tumbleweed. It's going to be a great series of show. Tickets available through Metropolis Touring. And we're so glad that you could bring this one to us here in Australia.
Thank you, gentlemen. My pleasure.
Mate, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll see you at the shows.
Okay, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Thanks, man.